Hi everyone, welcome to Becky's Crafts and Goodies. Today we're going to do a little bit of an outdoor DIY. Now these wooden crates, I got these, I think it was last year, I got them from an auction. I bought loads of them and I think I just kept two in the end. So what I'm going to do is paint them. Now I'm not prepping them or doing any preparation whatsoever. I'm literally going straight on with the chalk paint. Now this is the one I've already painted, and all I've done is given it one layer of the chalk paint, and the paint that I'm using is the Very Chic Emporium chalk paint. She does loads and loads of different colours, so if you pop onto her website you can have a look. And Paula's also got a deal on at the moment with 19% off, so there's a code and I'll put all the details in the description. So I do definitely recommend Very Chic as a chalk paint, so I do get asked a lot about chalk paint. Now I'm going to use a slightly different colour. I love the sage kind of greens. They've been around for quite some time and I still do love them, but Paula does lots and lots of different different colours. I think that's the one that I used on the unit down there. And there's another green as well. But I think I'm going to use this one. I've run out of the grey, but what I'm going to do is just pop a layer on this and hopefully that will tidy it up nicely. And we're going to just use one of these chalk paint brushes as well, and it is just literally a case of just slopping it on, so it's not hard at all and it goes on really quite easy. I'm not prepping it, it is going to go in the garden, so we do want to seal it, but you can get some garden sealers or sealers that can go in the garden and withstand a little bit more, but you know, bear in mind that you're probably going to have to paint them again the following year, but that's fine because colours change and you can just kind of like revamp it and give it a different lease of life. Now I like the fact that it's a little bit rickety and you know the wood's not perfect, and I think that kind of just adds to the effect, so that's sort of all working for me. So I'm going to give this a whole coat over the whole of the top of it and just let that dry. Rightio, so they're both out there just drying away now. So we're going to nip into the craft room. Right, now we've got someone in here you probably haven't seen for a little while, our Phoebes. Now what are you doing, Phoebes?
Well, I made a massive slime, so it turned out to be like this.
It was that size to start with, wasn't
and
it?
It was pink.
And over the last couple of days we've progressed to this big tub.
And I don't really know what happened.
A lot of glue. And the amount of glitter it's got inside is ridiculous. It's literally like, she just keeps adding glitter, don't you?
But it's fun. I could do like challenges and it's really fun. So like,
yeah.
It may not be stretchy, but it's like.
So that's what's been going on down here. Now I've just nipped into the craft room because I've just painted this in the Very Chic paint, and I'm going to put a napkin over the top and also just try and seal it with some outdoor sealer as well. So I'm going to do that. I've got a couple of other projects over there that I'm going to be doing for with the Very Chic paint as well. Right, so I just want to show you this beautiful card. Now it was Ebony's birthday a few days ago, and the lovely Amy Manley sent a card for her, and we all know, many of you that have been with me for a long time will know why there's Mr. Styles on the front of this card, because our very own Mrs. Styles absolutely adores him. So she's a bit gutted because she was supposed to see his concert a few days ago. She was supposed to go to Joe and Diane and also Louis Tomlinson's concert, and she was due to have her braces off. But all of those things have had to be put back because of the virus. But this card really made us smile this morning, so thank you so much, Amy, for that. So we're going to decoupage this now. What I'm going to do is, obviously it's got a pattern underneath, so I mean if you wanted to you could do like a darker colour underneath and whatever, put some crackle maybe over the top, but I'm just going to decoupage a flower on because I think that will look really quite nice. But look, you'll see exactly what I mean going on over here in this slime.
I mean, you can't say that it's not beautiful.
Well, it is beautiful, look. Phoebe, look.
ASMR.
This is, by the time we go back to school, I'm dreading how big that tub's going to be.
I mean, we'll have to find another tub.
Yeah, we just keep growing. This is like the third tub it's been in. It just keeps growing. It's like the magic porridge part, isn't it?
It was in this tub.
Yeah, that's how big it started.
And then it turned out to be in like a bowl, like about...
Yeah, my kitchen bowl.
And then
And then it just got bigger and bigger, didn't it? Right, so we're just going to cover or pop a little bit of decoupage on the side of this pot. I'm just going to use this napkin because I thought that would look quite nice with the grey. And I've got a few more pots that I'm going to paint and do the same thing to. And I'll be sealing these with some, I can either use this one, which is Mod Podge Outdoor, or I've also got some of the Americana Decoupage Outdoor Sealer. So it's a glue sealer, so I can use either one of those. I think that should be fine. So I'm just going to whack this on the front. I just think it'll give the pot a nice, you know, a nice look. So we'll do that the same way that we normally do. Get the different layers apart there. And we're just going to pop it on the front. And I'm not fussed about the pattern or anything like that. I just think that will look quite sweet over the top. Right, and then we're going to go over the top. Like that, and because it's on like a bit of a curve, you might get some wrinklings, but I think when you're using flowers and things like that, I don't think wrinkles matter that much, so I think it adds to it. Now I've still got a roll of this cling film that I'm using up down here, but I know a lot of people put sort of bags, reusable bags over the top, so that can kind of help. So just sort of smooth it down, and then I'm not too fussed about the wrinkles, to be honest. You're going to get them because of the shape of the pot, as I said, so I'm not too bothered. So smooth it all out, and then once that's done, we'll go over it again with another layer of the Mod Podge or the decoupage sealer, whichever you've got. Right, so this is the grey crate, and what I've done is I've put some stencils on it, and I've just put it in the window there in the craft room just so I can get it to dry a little bit. I'm just going to show you what I did on the other crate now. So we've got the crate, and I've got this stencil. Now they are Americana Décor stencils, and I thought this kind of leaf design looked quite cute there. So I do like as well, I like all this sort of rickety kind of look. I think it looks really, really sweet. So I'm going to put the stencil on again in sort of a similar way, you know, to the other one. And I'll just show you how I did it. Now I mixed up some paint because I didn't have the correct colour that I wanted. So I just put some black and some white together, and I've just put it in this jar because I can just screw the lid on and then use that. And I've found these little sponges work really well when you're doing stenciling. These are just the makeup sponges from Poundland, and they're absolutely fantastic. What I do, I'll show you here, just got an old paper plate. I keep all these paper plates, and I just dab the sponge in, and you kind of want to dab the excess off so you've not got too much, because if you bung up too much paint it will just bleed and spread. If you do make a mistake, it doesn't matter. If it's not too bad, just leave it. If it is, just paint over it and go again. Really don't worry, because I do it and I splurge it everywhere and I just think, oh well, I'll just paint over that, or you know, it doesn't look too bad. So what I'm going to do, let me just show you at the top here. I'm not cutting these stencils off, I'm just going to leave them sort of as they are. And you can, if you want to, tape it down, but I'm doing quite a few, and to be honest I can't bother to tape it down, so I'm not bothering. And you just put your paint on your little sponge and just dab it. Now if you've got, as I have, uneven wood underneath, you've got all bits of wood sticking up, it's not going to look perfect, but that is the look that I want. And I can see under here already that I've got some sort of bristly bits sticking up in there, and it's not covering the same, but that doesn't really bother me at all. So just go over it, making sure you don't move the stencil, and then once you've done it, we'll just lift the stencil up, and be careful. I tend to lift them from one side and just sort of like pull them up. It's difficult because it's quite a big stencil. So take it from one side and just pull it through, and then you've got your stencil on there. So I'm going to put a few more of these on, just kind of like dot them around the middle, and then we'll seal them so they're ready for outdoor. Right, so I'm outside and I've got some yacht varnish, and I'm going to use this one. This is all weather protection. I'm using the clear satin, and this can go outside, so just have a look and make sure that your varnish can go outside. So as you can see, that's quite clear, so I'm going to go over very carefully. We're going to go all the way over and varnish it, and this will protect it, and hopefully it will stop the cracking, it says on there, peeling and blistering. So I'm going to put the tripod down and I'm going to concentrate and get this all varnished and covered, but I think it looks really nice with the stencils on, so I'm really liking how it's turning out. Right, so I've cut the stencils up for this one because it's tricky to get to, and I'm going to attempt to put this bird on the front of this pot, so I think that would look quite cute. So I'm just going to do it in exactly the same way, but we've obviously got sort of, the pot's not straight, so it's going to be quite tricky to do, but I'll just take my time with it, and we'll just dab it and sort of go through and hope for the best. There you go. So it's not perfect, but I think it will do the job, and I'm going to put a few more bits of stencils around the edge, and just to sort of jazz it up a little bit. Right, so with this one, I'm going to put some rice paper. I've just torn this little bottom section out with the roses on, and I'm going to put that through the middle, and I thought that would look quite cute. So for this one, I'm going to try some of the Fairy Chic Emporium's matte finish, and then I'll seal it with an outdoor finish after that. But I think that this will be quite nice and not too heavy, because the other pot that we did, and we used the outdoor Mod Podge and the Decoupage stuff, I think it's gone on too heavy. So I'll be using a different sealer for over the top of this one. So we just need something just to get the rice paper on in the first instance, and to get it to stick, and then we'll seal it with something different over the top. And I do like working with rice paper because you can go straight over the top with your brush. You don't have to worry about, you know, ripping it, because it is a bit stronger. Obviously you've got to be careful, but so just cut another little bit out of this, and then I'll go around the back of the pot as well, and then that'll be all of our 3 pots decorated. Okay, so I'm going to show you another little technique as well. So because this is chalk paint and we haven't sealed it, we can actually scuff a little bit of the paint off to leave some of the colour underneath, and that'll give it a little bit of a shabby chic look. So what you can do is you can just go over with maybe a wipe or something like that and rub away little bits of the paint that you've painted over the top, and it will let you do that until you've sealed it, and when you've sealed it you won't be able to do that. So I think this one I'm going to give it a different look and give it a sort of that kind of vintagey shabby chic look. So that's what I'm going to do around the edge of this pot. Now to seal these, I'm going to use a product called Crystal Clear. This is by Rust-Oleum, and it seals, protects and enhances. So basically it's a non-yellowing top coat, and you can use it for interior, exterior, wood, metal and ceramics. So I'm going to spray this on to seal these, because obviously these are going to be going outside, and I'll be spraying it outside because I don't know with, you know, if it's stinky or not. So we'll be spraying that outside. So I'm going to just do that with the other 2 pots now, the pink and the green one. So this is the green one, and I don't like how it's come out. I don't think the colours are quite right. I think it's too bright. So what I'm going to do is I've made up a whitewash, and this is just by mixing 1 part paint to 1 part water. And I'm going to go over the top of the colour that I've got here, just to dull it down and give it like a more of a washy kind of look about it. I think it will just look nicer and it'll blend in, because this to me sticks out a bit like a sore thumb. And I might do it over this one because I'm not sure, in fact I don't like how it's turned out. I think it looks too different. You can see the napkin on it. I don't like it, so I'm going to go over it. Now I have already sealed these, so these are already ready, but I will have to seal them again. But it doesn't matter. I'd rather them look right than not at all. And then I'm going to put some soil in them. I've got some plants as well, and I'll put the plants in. So these ideas, I've kind of married them together, but you don't have to do the crates, you don't have to do the pots. You could kind of do one or the other idea. Right, so let's grab this and we'll just go over it a little bit. I've also got a cloth as well, just in case we need to wipe some bits off. So just go over it a little bit, and I'm just going to wipe it off, just so you've got some of the paint showing and then some underneath. Now if you wanted to make the wash weaker, then obviously you could do that and you wouldn't have to wash it off. I'd probably do it like maybe 2 parts water to 1 part paint or something like that. But I like to put it on and kind of wipe it off and just see how that looks. So I don't know if you can see with the light, but it has dulled it down so much and it just doesn't look so in your face and so bright. I'm going to do it for the whole of this part. I'll do it inside probably as well, or at least part of it, and then I'll just need to seal it again. But I do much prefer the look. And with putting too much on, you can kind of leave more bits in certain areas if you want to. You've got sort of more control on what you want to rub off. So I'm just going to do the rest of it, and then I'll show you the next stage. Right, now I've seen those whitewashed, I think I want to do this one. But what I've done is I've just added some more water. So this is 2 parts water to 1 part paint, because I think it will be too dark if I put it to the same amount of stuff on as I did on that one. So I'm just going to mix this round a little bit, just added a little bit more water just so it's a little bit runny, and I'm just going to paint this over, just do exactly the same thing, and then just wipe it off, because obviously we still want to see what's underneath, and just sort of rub it until you get kind of the desired effect, and just sort of like rub it all the way around. I don't know if you can see, my hand's probably in the way. And you don't have to add too much. Just kind of rub it in and that should be absolutely fine. And then obviously I'll seal this one as well, because I've put something else on top. Right, so here are the crates, and I just wanted to give you a couple of ideas actually, because as I was painting them up I thought they would make fantastic kind of makeshift shelving. You could do them inside the house. If you were going to do that, then I would sand them down, because I've left this wood quite raw. There's kind of splinters in it and stuff, so if you're doing that, just sand them down. You can make some fantastic shelving. You could also, if you do craft fairs and things like this, these would make marvellous kind of display stands, wouldn't they, to put all your stuff in, your goods. You could put bits that hang down, and I think by putting the stencils on the back it's really cool. You could also, if you've got a business, maybe print your business name with a stencil on the back as well, or put different things like the name of what you're selling on it as well, you know, on the back. And this bit at the bottom doesn't bother me, it's cracked. I just think it adds to the effect. I could have fixed it, but I just think it looks quite nice. Right, so there we go. I've just put them all up together there in the corner. I've just put it by the summer house. And I just wanted to mention the yacht varnish that I used here from Wilko. I'll just show you. This tin is 250ml and it was enough to do 2 of these crates. Obviously the wood wasn't sanded down, so that makes it more porous, and also the paint I used was chalk paint, so that would be a little bit more porous than some other paints. But just as a little bit of a guide, 1 tin did 2 of those if you're thinking about doing it yourself. So there we go. I hope I've inspired you to have a go, and maybe while you're stuck at home you could give your garden a little bit of a makeover with bits and pieces that you can find. And that's it from me. I hope you're all okay, and I'll see you again soon. You take care. Bye for now.